start joining us now.
Awesome.
And now we're going to go. Hi, everybody.
Hey, everyone. Welcome. If you're joining us, if you can please put a comment in the chat board that you're here so we know who's here. And hey, everyone on Facebook. Awesome.
This is fun. Just watching everybody show up. Hi, everybody. Happy Monday. Amy's here. And Shelly's here.
Welcome, everyone. So today is in the 40-day, day 26, and it's Seeing with Christ Vision. And so grateful that you're here. Very happy to have Cindy Krupp just really being a light here for this entire 40 days. And we ask everyone, if you can, just to put a little hello shout out in the comment area so we can see who's here. And we're laughing out loud, but we're gonna aim for 30 minutes on this call. These calls were initially supposed to be 10-minute check-ins weekly, and they've been going for an hour. And just because of just so many amazing comments and feedback. And so we're aiming for 30 minutes, and we'll see how that goes. But Cindy sent me just a couple of notes, which I thought were amazing, just to kind of keep us focused. And do you want to start us, Cindy?
Other than hi, and I love you, and I'm so psyched. And I didn't write it in the notes, but the energy of this group is like over the top. In the couple of years I've been doing this, I haven't experienced anything quite like the focus and the transformation and the dedication and the intention. So I want to put that out there. The only other thing I asked you if I could take a minute, I just wanted to just state again that the Facebook group, our Facebook group, has only one purpose, and that is to stay on track with what we're doing in the 40-day. And it's kind of breaking the rules because the 40-day is supposed to be a desert experience and just staying focused on everything that has come through Lisa in the teachings. But we're loving it, and we're loving the support and what it's doing. But I'm deleting posts every day throughout the day. Anything that takes us away from the message, I'm not deleting the share. When you're sharing a story, I'm not deleting those. But anything that has a link that I catch, I deleted a whole bunch of posts that have Bible quotes and those types of things. I don't catch them all, but I don't want anybody to take offense. But we really are trying to keep this Facebook group clean, and I'll say it right now, the intention, and it's what we've done in the past, for closing the group within a week of when the 40-day process ends. It has one purpose. And so I really just wanted to say that out loud again, and hopefully, Lisa, you'll have some more things to say about that. But happy Monday.
That's awesome. Yeah, thank you so much, Cindy. And, you know, we do need these reminders that the Facebook group is not the 40-day program. It's like this added thing that we put in. And what I know from years of working with people is that often when someone is not seeing results, when I do a teeny little bit of digging, I find out that they're not actually doing the work. They're showing up, they're coming into the group, they're hanging out with others, they're hearing what others are saying, but they're not actually doing the work. And it's in doing the work and applying the lessons that you will see the change of mind. That's what the 40-day is for. And so everyone check in with yourself, and you're not guilty if you're not doing the work or if you're, not finding the time. But I think it's important to just check in and say, am I taking these moments of rest? Am I spending quiet time in the morning? Am I watching my thoughts like a hawk? Am I am I staying in that quiet space? And and staying in my circle, staying here centered, remembering your true identity, the light that you are, remembering your oneness, remembering your wholeness, remembering your brilliance. And the reason I use Jesus as the example for the 40-day is because of the temptations of the body. Like 2020 years ago, we're told in the Bible that Jesus was tempted, and he just kept saying no, staying right here, centered in love, centered in truth, centered in wholeness. And the mind will then come in from another direction. It tries to come in from this direction. Oh, you have no money. Oh, you have no job. Oh, you this. And you're like, no, like I'm staying right here. And then it's like, then the mind has to go over this direction and try it from another route. And then there's body symptoms and pain and suffering. And this is why, like, these practices can be so powerful, because you will see that you have an ability to stay in the quiet when the body calls you, when pain calls you, when the news and media calls you, when your bank account calls you, when you'll begin to see the power that you have to not go there, to stay really right here. And those things are going to keep happening. They don't ever stop. They don't ever go away. I can tell you, it's in my life. That's what we're here for, as the light of the world, to be centered as a light in the middle of all of this confusion and chaos and suffering. So that 40-day Facebook group is only to share about the day's lesson, to just, and it can come in whatever form it comes in from you. Like Frances, I see you're here. Oh my God, I love your little drawings. They're not little drawings, I shouldn't say that. They're magnificent, but they're always connected to the lesson. Like that's where it's like everyone can find their own individual expression, but keep it within the lesson. And because 40 days is going to be over. We're already on day 26 today, right? And then the Facebook group's going away. So thank you, Cindy, for that one. And when you do the work, you see that it works. And so I just want to go through, I love the comments I'm seeing. The major one is that we're seeing is a sense that you're doing it wrong. You're not doing it wrong. You can't do it wrong. The only thing you can do is not do it. But that's not wrong either. But if you're not doing it, just be aware, oh, I'm okay, whatever. I'm not giving this my full focus, and that's okay too. But if you're taking the time to watch the video, sit quietly, see what the practice is for the day, check in with the practice a couple times a day, just staying in this new space, you can't get it wrong. And one of the things that I just want to say on this one is that I cannot tell you how many hundreds of people, or thousands maybe, I don't even know what the numbers are anymore, who don't know the change is happening till later, way later, like a year later. And that's my story. Like in the moment, you might think nothing's changing, nothing's happening. I still get angry. I'm still upset. People still push my buttons. But you're going to notice that you're changing. And there comes a point when it's like, you don't attack anymore. You're like, oh, wow, I'm always staying present. And that's what we're seeing in Living in Purpose. And I also want to just tell you, just kind of while it's on my mind, got my little calendar here. Next week, we're doing another 9 a.m. call. So same as always. And then the next Monday, is a day 40. We're not going to do a 9 a.m. call on that day. We're actually doing a webinar at 2 p.m. Eastern. So you can mark your calendars for that. And it's what we always do at the end of the 40 days. It's called What's Next. So we talk about your next steps, what's next, and we also share about some of our other programs that we have. If anybody's interested in that, we give major discount on the cost. There's some awesome bonuses and stuff for anybody. And the other exciting news, I don't even know what's going to come of it, but we're actually creating a brand new course. So we're going to talk about that. Again, that's Monday, August 31st, 2 p.m. Eastern. So you're not doing it wrong. And let's see, Cindy writes in the notes, you'd like to hear a little bit about where we place our attention, even as we tell the story. So that's actually today's lesson. Day 26 is seeing with Christ's vision. So where you place your attention is where you go. So you hear all of these like metaphysical things, where your energy goes, where your attention goes, your energy flows. It's actually more than that. Where your attention goes, you go. That's how that works. And so when you go with the pain, suffering, sickness, sadness, guilt, shame, blame, doubt, you go there with it. You boom, off you go. Right there in the passenger seat, emotions and story and news, and has got the driver's seat, and you're just in the passenger seat, and whee, off you go. So you have to take the car keys back and say, hold on a second, who's in control here of my thoughts and my emotions? Who's in control of my attention? And like I saw this really great post on Facebook this morning. Someone woke up with a migraine and lost vision for 20 minutes and was in just tremendous fear. And that's always the place where you are, wherever it is the place where the shift in perception occurs. That's where your power is. This is why healing doesn't take any time. And this is why there's not a process, because in the moment of a migraine and temporary blindness, I know all about it. That's what happened to me, actually. Like I started going physically blind and tremendous fear. What if I'm going blind? What if I go totally blind? And the joy I feel is that you start to have a very real experience that nothing can affect you, the real you, your true self, which is pure light, that never gets sick, that doesn't go blind, that's pure presence, that's ageless, colorless, genderless, timeless, eternal. This is your true self. And so the 40 day is a way to activate you with these practices to begin to feel what that feels like, that power and that presence and the joy and the peace. And then it's like you get to watch the mind. Okay, that's all sounds really good, but I don't want to go blind. Like, and you can watch the mind activity, and you can see like how many times a day you're pulled, and then to really to have to make a commitment like Jesus did. You don't have to, but if you want to take this journey, this one's a good one. It's a journey back home to the self, to your true self, to your true power. And Jesus in A Course in Miracles says the resistance to this is enormous. The resistance to be your true self, the light that you are, is enormous. And that's why so many people fall back into old patterns. That's why I did for all these years. Until finally I was like, nope, this is where I'm going to hang out from now on. So, Cindy, want to say anything?
I'm just laughing because I've heard you tell these stories, and so I'm going to just say one thing out loud. 4 years you tried to heal your body, and you were very sick. You thought you were dying, right? This is since you created the 40 days. So everyone who thinks they're doing it wrong now, the ego gets the best of us. And you tell the story. I'm inspired to ask you to tell the story of when you were sitting alone and you called Bill because you literally couldn't see. That's the moment that I was hoping. And then I'm going to ask again, can you share the fear and the decision in that moment to not be the body?
Yeah, and it is a decision, because that's where, like, all the while that I was sick and suffering and pain, my true self, my wholeness was right here the whole time. And I couldn't see it because I was focused on the body. I was focused on the suffering. I was focused on the pain. And yeah, that's where, like, a group like this and a community can be helpful, because we can call on our brother. I called on Bill at the time, and he was just reminding me of what I had forgotten, because we forget when we get lost in dreams and illusions and body symptoms and world conditions. And he just asked me, can you just allow and accept? What if the body never heals? And it was like, in that moment, it was like, oh my God, there was total freedom. And then the body actually did start to heal. Like, like all of those things that I had thought were limitations in me started to dissolve, because I stopped putting my attention and focus there. And so that's where, a little light here. I always just want to say to everyone, be gentle with yourself. And this isn't a doing, it's an undoing. And everything happens in the rest. When you're really resting, not engaging in the mind and the thoughts, that you naturally flow back to peace and home again. You naturally will just flow there. And you'll start to see that more and more you don't wander back off. So that's the excitement I always feel, because I never imagined this journey would be like this. I thought I was learning something from A Course in Miracles. I thought, I don't know what I thought, but now I know that this is all I ever wanted, to be in this state of being. And remember with our first early cards, your old state of being and your new state of being. Like, the way I see it, I spend a lot of time talking about healing. I created a course called The Healing Cure, which is based on what you're getting here in the 40-day also. But what I see is, like, when you're in suffering, you're a certain way of being. And your true self, your true way of being, it's here. Like, it's buried inside the old way, but I always like to use those circles. Over here is true self, wholeness, perfect joy, perfect peace, perfect love, awareness of oneness. Out here, I'm separate, I'm alone, I'm sick, I'm tired, I'm disconnected from myself. And so when you plug in again, this is the space between, is what I call healing. It seems like a process, but it's not a process. But the process is as long as it takes you to let go of your resistance to letting go of your image and your stories. Because you could just zoop right here. But we don't, though, because we're afraid. We're afraid of what we're going to lose. And so over here, sickness and suffering, this is where we call this sickness. I'm sick. Over here, I am healed. There's nothing to heal. In between, that's what I call healing. And the space is determined by you, how long it takes to be your true self, your brilliance, your innocence, your wholeness, your holiness, the love that you are, the light that you are, the joy that you are, the oneness. And that's what today's lesson is to see with Christ's vision, to look through the body's eyes Like you might think you see Lisa, like I'm Lisa or Cindy. So you say, oh, but she is a body. You are in a body. You are a body. I see a body. I see you make your hands going like this. Like, but I don't see myself as the body. The body's like a bodysuit. I put little earrings on today. I fix my hair. I put a little clothes, like you do whatever you do with the body like it's clothing. It's not me. The you is the you that's looking through the eyes. That's the love. That's the light. That's the, and so then you begin to know like there's just oneness. This is the adventure. This is really what's going on here. And so it's exciting. And the thing is like what I know to be true from all my years of working with people is you will be surprised that when you see that you didn't have to do anything. It's happening just while we're together right now. That is serious. Like while you're in the 40-day, it's already just happening.
So there is a comment, there's a question, but there's a comment that I think relates a little bit to what you were just, or a lot to what you were just saying. So I'll read it. The past 2 weeks, I had a pain in my left leg and thigh, and then in a dream, I saw myself swimming. So this weekend, I went swimming in the ocean, and now I feel better. There is a shift taking place within my mind.
I'm being totally distracted here. I don't know something's thumping. I'm so sorry, totally distracted. I'm like, there's an animal in here or something.
Oh,
Okay.
Maybe it's my dog was under the table hitting.
Oh, I'm hearing your dog. I'm like, is it the thumping?
He was under, I don't know, it stopped. He laid down, but while I was sharing, he was under my table, hitting the top of the table.
Okay, it's gone. I heard a thumping and I was like, okay, sorry. So a question, somebody had a pain and then
I'll read it again.
I got
so
totally
good.
distracted.
Okay, here we go.
Yeah.
For the past 2 weeks, I have had a pain in my left leg and thigh, and then in a dream, I saw myself swimming. So this weekend, I went swimming in the ocean, and now I feel better. There is a shift taking place within my mind.
Yeah. Yeah, and like what's interesting to me with this work is that we start noticing this intuition and this voice or these thoughts, and we go with them. That's definitely on my side. Can you hear it? I don't know what it is. Something we have a visitor somewhere. Is like you start to really begin to trust in this inner voice that's always guiding us. We can't hear it when we're stuck in attention going to the body and the body sensations. But when we start to like rest, like in the dream state, that can be one of them. Is yeah, you actually start to feel like when you're listening to this intelligence and you're following it, is that you're guided perfectly. And like when I hear that letter, like in the moment of that dream is when the healing occurred. It wasn't actually going into the ocean for real. It's in the moment that you're free. You're free from the body. And in this moment, all of us are free from the body. And then what happens, and this is where the backtracking can happen, is then the mind gets in there and goes, oh, now I see what I have to do. So there's the process again. And you want to be aware of that. Like be aware of that in every moment. You're whole already. You're already free. You already have all power to heal yourself, all power to heal others, all power to see. Like this morning, I was thinking how some people say, well, what about little children who get sick? What about them? What about people who don't have a spiritual path or a Course in Miracles? That it's still the same method, is that you have to ask yourself, where are you seeing that person? Are you seeing a sick child? Are you seeing someone who's sick and doesn't know how to get out because they don't have a Course in Miracles? Or are you standing in your circle, in your wholeness, in your total oneness, seeing through the appearance of a sick child, through the appearance of something, and remembering the truth that this child is not sick? This is pure brilliance. This is that child is not sick. But then the mind will say, yes, it is. There's a tumor. The doctor said this is happening. They're coughing. They're this, they're that. Now you're outside of your circle with them. And so now you're sick and all you can see is sickness in others. So this journey is a way to come back to center, come back home, and see the truth. You see it. You see through people's stories. You see through suffering. You see only wholeness. And it's not saying that, I'm not saying that like a tumor doesn't exist. I'm not saying like stick your head in the sand, but what I'm saying is that let's take a sick child, for example, and you're thinking, well, that child can't take 100% responsibility like A Course in Miracles says. How did the child cause that? What happens is that when you take 100% responsibility for what you think you see, you will show up in a different way. So before, you might be treating someone like they're sick. You might treat them like they're weak and limited and frail. But when you come back to your center and you remember your wholeness and you remember everything is one with you and you remember this light, you will be responding in an entirely new way. You will be doing new things with that child. You will be talking to the innocence of the child, or you will be talking to the wholeness of the sick person. You will be talking right through someone's addictions. People come to me with all sorts of problems. I hear what they're saying. I talk to the light in them. That's the formula. I don't see anyone as weak and sick and suffering. I don't see anyone that way. I don't see myself that way. I know myself. So, and then from there, I don't try to have an outcome. Like, it's totally let go. And I loved what Sandra said. Let's see here.
I also have a couple of questions in the Q&A when you're ready.
Let's just, I'm not finding Sandra's, but Philip says, I have a hard time saying I'm not my body, so I can't be sick. There is a fear that I send a negative message to my body. I understand the concept, but leaving the body is not easy. Thank you, Philip. And yeah, this is the journey. This is the journey. So it's again, like, it's hard to put it into words, but you're not a body. Like, you're not a body. It's not a concept. You're pure light. You know, there's been so many near-death stories where people leave, the spirit goes and sees the oneness that we all are, and then they're like, oh my God, I'm not the body. Oh my God, we're all connected, we're all one. And then they come back into the body, and that's where that's to me the best way I know to describe it, is that Philip says, there's a fear that I send a negative message to my body. And so this work is to stay connected to the light, to the self, the intelligence. And Philip, this is, and what I love about this work is that we all deep down, even if you think you don't understand, you get it, what I'm saying right now to you, to all of you. You know this light. This light is, this is your true self. So when I speak, that's true self in you starts to stir. It's like, oh, the memories begins to return. So you don't have to, and you're not going to leave your body. It's not about leaving the body. And I tried to do that for 10 years. I thought because I had this little thing, I was doing it wrong. I kept trying to leave this body. This isn't me. So now I understand, like, this is just in service. This thing that we all have, it's now not a hated thing. It's just a vehicle where the light can now come through into this world. It can now shine. So now you can have a good time. Now you can be like, oh my God, how awesome is this? I'm awake in a place that's like sleeping. What? And now, like, when you go, so as to me, I don't have this kind of enthusiasm, excitement when I go out. Like, I'm always staying in presence, and I am always just like, okay, let's see what happens next. Where am I sent? Who comes to me? Where do I go? And then I know, like, oh, I'm listening what I need to do or say, or if anything. And so this really truly does become a happy game we play to just be here in a world of seeming suffering and sorrow and confusion, and to come to bring life to it, to bring your joy, to bring your gratitude, to bring your love.
So Lisa, while you're there, I'm inspired to ask this question. And it's my understanding that if you're here now listening or in the 40-day and listening after, it's because you've been called and you've already gotten it, right? This is our path.
Mhm. Yeah, because everyone's already home. That's the interesting part. Like, that's where, like, for me as a teacher, it's always interesting for me to find the right balance. Because see, each and every one of you is now going to help others in whatever way it comes to you. And that's why we did create other programs after the 40-day, because people were like, well, what now? Now what? I'm all in, but now what? And so we created Living in Purpose. And now we're in the middle of creating another course that's just called Living in Oneness. And this to me is the place where we carry this out to others now, because we're carrying it out to ourselves. And so you have to, what you say, Cindy, is like, those of you in the 40-day, you already have it. Everyone already has it, but they don't know they have it because they're stuck in their own illusions and nightmares of their own making. So as teachers of God, which is what we all are, or as whatever you want to call yourself, you develop how to listen so you can meet someone where they think they are, not scare them, and meet them at that level. Because you don't want to come in and come from the top, like, oh, there is no world. That's not going to help someone who has cancer with a tumor. You have to come to where they think they are and listen. And then the words are given if there's anything for you to say or do. But your part is to not see them as a sick person, to not see yourself as a sick person, and to know that you have everything needed to be equipped for this situation, whatever it is, whatever comes your way, and then the light that you are will awaken the light in them, and then don't worry about the outcome. So that's, to me, like, that's what the 40-day is. It's a way to begin to have this experience of your true self. Oh, here we go. Sandra, this morning I woke up with these words: we are here to discover who we are beyond the constrictions, barriers of the body. Yep, that's it. And the focus has been so much on the body for our entire lifetime that it can seem difficult to have a different viewpoint. So my suggestion is for everyone: don't try to escape the body. You're just not the body. You're not an age. You're not a color. You're not a gender. You're not a person. You're not an image. You're not. Those are just thoughts and stories. You are pure light, pure wholeness, pure oneness, pure presence, and that can seem hard at first because we're not used to that.
So there are 3 questions in the Q&A,
Okay. Yep.
and I'll read just the middle one for now.
Okay.
They all relate to being able to handle oneself in the world.
Mm-hmm.
My belief in equality and rights is, and this is from Jennifer, our friend with the hummingbirds. My belief in equality and rights, especially in politics, is my downfall. I can be doing well and something comes up and I'm back in my head. I'm trying to find a balance here. I can't ignore all that is going on, and I'm trying to do it in love. How do I live in this world and not be a body at the same time?
Mhm.
I know this has been brought up. I guess I just need clarity.
Yeah, it's a great question. And so I don't ignore anything. I actually read the news. I read the New York Times. I don't watch television, but I definitely know everything that's going on. Like I follow, I do. I kind of check in every day. And like I actually don't think, how do you find a balance? I think you don't find a balance. I think it has to be all or nothing. I think you have to stand committed in truth as love's presence. And like I saw a Facebook post the other day, someone said, what do you say to someone when they tell you they're not voting? And everyone had a comment on it. My answer, based on A Course in Miracles and the training that comes with the Course in Miracles, is that you don't decide in advance ever what you're going to say or do. You allow the situation to inform you what to do, and then you're doing it. So I have no idea. If somebody was to come to me and say, I'm not voting, in that moment, my practice is to just stay present, stay just present with this one that's saying this, or where I'm reading it on Facebook, wherever I see it. And then just, if there's anything that I'm to say, it's given. And I'm not even thinking about it. Something might blurt out of my mouth. I might say nothing. I don't know. I have no idea. And this is why a lot of people are afraid to take this journey, because this is a place of zero control. We are used to being bodies and having control. We want to know what to say in advance. We want to know our position on a thing. We want to have all the facts so that we can have an intelligent conversation with someone. If the conversation turns to politics at the dinner table, this path is to just show up. Just show up. You don't have to know anything, like a child. And the moment, I've had situations where I'll stay for hours and talk about something. I've had other situations when the conversation starts, I'm like, glance over a bill, I'm like, let's go. Like, I don't know. I don't know. I don't have an agenda anymore. I don't have a plan. And so that's where this becomes like where the Course in Miracles calls a plan of teachers, where it's like, if you let go of your agenda and your position, and you just are here to bring the truth to the world and to be a light in this world, then you're free, totally free. Like I really don't know in any moment what I'm going to say, but I know for sure the moment will be revealed. I know it. And so that's what I say to that question, is let go of all of your positions. We don't know anything. I don't know anything. And that's my joy.
You rock my joy. So, Lisa, it is 9:38. So,
Oh, yeah, we did say, Cindy and I talked privately, and we said, okay, we're going to aim for 30 minutes and we're going to definitely close at 45. So
there
I
is
just
one
want to,
other, okay.
what? Go ahead.
I wanted to, if it's okay, there is one other question and
Yeah.
that I wanted to read to you, because it feels like this woman may have felt threatened, physically threatened in the moment. So I didn't know if you wanted to just touch on that, or if you just want to let it go for now.
Well, it's the same. I didn't see the question, but I saw one yesterday, and it's like, the one I saw was, I'm in a relationship with an alcoholic who's an active alcoholic and not wanting to change and not having a spiritual basis, and do I stay or do I go? same answer that I just gave. It's like this work, when you start to stay so present in the self, is that you really are guided to stay or go. I can't give any instruction on that one. Like, but that's where it's like, all right, and the mind will tell you, get away. This is not safe, and them, or do this or do that. But it's like in the pause. Like, I remember a story I once heard of a rapist who broke into a woman's house, was going to kill her, and was going to rape her. And she, it's like the presence was there. And this was only in this case. I don't know. In other situations, the thing is like run. But in that situation, she was invited him to stay for tea and coffee and that I think the house was surrounded by cops or something, and it's a famous story. And she ended up spending hours with him, and he ended up going to jail, and he ended up having this amazing healing that happened with her. Like, he saw what he was doing, and he felt so sorry, and we don't know. Like, so the answer always for me is you don't have to do it physically, but to love the one who's physically harming you. You don't have to do it in physical, but to begin to find it in your heart, to see the innocence through the appearance of this one's actions, to bless them with love, and know that the blessing, when you bless someone with love, this is the part I get very excited on, is this light is a force for real. It's an intelligence. It knows what to do. We don't. It does. So when you're in fear, you're in fear for your life, someone's physically harming you, and you bless them with love and holiness in your mind, this holiness goes right out. It goes like in the movies that you see. It goes right out, and your part's done. That ends your part. And then the listening, like, just, okay, now what? Like, and you can trust that you will be told exactly what to do perfectly.
Hey, Lisa, if we say our goodbyes, we'll hit our goal.
Well, I just love you all, and I thank you so much for being here. It is day 26, Seeing with Christ Vision, and the theme of this week is Christ Vision. So tomorrow's called, what's it called? Acknowledging the King. What is it?
Oh, tomorrow's not the king. The 28 is the king.
Okay, so this week is, God, what's the theme of this week?
Seeing with Christ's vision.
Yeah. So it's that's really, if you just can make another new commitment, take out your commitment letter, say, okay, this week, this is my goal, to abide and identify with my true self, which is my innocence, which is the light that I am beyond the body, and to look through your body's eyes with this love. And you'll see all the suffering here. You'll see how people are in pain. You'll see how everyone is confused. You'll see all the doubt. You'll see it all. And you'll be looking through these eyes. That's Christ's vision. And you're connected to this love. And you're just allowing yourself to see through someone else's story now, to see through the news, see through it all. Like, see the truth there. And this is where we stay in our circle. So I want to just thank you all. That Facebook group is there, and we do love reading the messages. We ask that you please keep them to the 40-day messages. Cindy, I adore you. It's Cindy's birthday week, everybody.
And I love you.
Happy birthday.
I love all the
Happy
love
birthday,
that I
everyone.
received. So much fun.
I love you so much. So we'll see you next Monday morning, 9 a.m. And the following Monday is 2 p.m.
Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time.
Bye,
Love
everyone.
you.
Stop the Facebook stream. Bye-bye.
Ah.
And now, I wish I could unmute everybody and hear everybody's voices, but we can't do that here. But